Hello. Well, this is odd, isn't it? We can't meet in any rooms in Cardiff or anything, so we're online. Everyone's meeting online, zooming and videoing. Well, it's very nice to meet you, although I'll never ever see you. Maybe I've met you before. Who knows? Well, my name's Mike, and I work as a writer, so I make my living from writing stories and poems mainly. And that's what we're going to be talking about today because with Arts Active, who put on this summer scheme, summer school, um, they've sort of made a theme of Peter and the Wolf. That's what I've been told. Someone might say, Mike, that's completely wrong. But anyway, Peter and the Wolf. Now, you might know or not know Peter and the Wolf, but the thing I want to focus on from a writing point of view, because I want to see whether you want to play with words in the way that I like playing with words, like bashing them around and forging them into stories and creating monsters and laughs. Um, you can do that, but thing I want to focus on from Peter and the Wolf when they said that that was a sort of theme of these workshops and seminars, whatever they are, right? Was the woods are really important if you're making stories or poems. In fact, I'm going to take you in the woods. We are going to the woods. Is that safe? Well, I'll do all the walking and the holding of the phone. You'll just sit and watch. It's all right for you. If there's a wolf or a bear or a witch, you'll just sit there laughing as I suffer the indignity of coping with those things. No, actually, the woods really. By the way, when does a wood become a forest? Yeah. When does a forest become a jungle? See, I don't understand that. I think I could probably just internet those. Will you do it for me? Just internet that. Find out. When does a wood become a forest? When does a forest become a jungle? It's a bit like when does a brook become a stream? When does a stream become a river? When does a hill become a mountain? Questions. You've just got to be curious, haven't you? I'm curious, still, even at my age, right? I'm 18 now. No, but I'm old now. But even now, I'm still curious to find things out. And the woods are a great place to explore. And that's what we're going to do. When we go up into the woods, we're going to explore, but we're going to explore it from the point of view. If you're a writer like me, what do you find in the woods? Now, when you think about it, the woods are crucial to stories. Red Riding Hood, yeah, they're all so many stories. Lord of the Rings, there's the Lothlorien and Fanghorn, where the trees talk and stuff. And then if you think of Harry Potter, the Forbidden Forest, you see, trees are everywhere. They're in Middle Earth, they're in fairy tales, they're even now. If you think of, I don't want to talk about. I don't like horror stories and horror films, but you can make a really good one in the woods, can't you? Because you just have to, the crackle of someone breaking the twig behind you, and it's dark, and you're scared, right? It's a bit like Jaws, which, you see, I remember Jaws. I go back a long way. Jaws was this film, which you might have seen or not, but it's all about this, what lies in the dark, deep blue sea. Yeah, yeah, a great white shark in that case. But you see, in a story, you get that sense of danger in the woods, and Peter and the wolf coming out of the woods. Danger. And all stories need a bit of danger and jeopardy. Now, before we go into the woods, I'd like you to write some things. It would be great if you write some things. If you just use that, Into the Woods, which is quite a famous musical. Quite a famous. Sorry, Steve. No, but there's a famous new musical called Into the Woods, and fairy stories, as we say. There's loads of things that you can get out of the woods. Rich material. And then, so we're going to go into the woods and we're going to see what we can find. Maybe we'll find the missing link. I don't know. We might. What is the missing link? Google it. Now, we're going to have a look. So, next time I see you, we'll be in the woods. Well, I'll be in the woods on my own, looking for stories and things to write about. You will be with me because you'll be on this little device. So, I'm going to leave you now. Start thinking about the woods. What could happen in the woods. Ooh. Think of a comedy story in the woods, so we don't get too scary and stuff. But I think Jungle Book, Jungle Book. Yeah, all these stories that happen in the woods. You see. Yeah. In fact, craft ideas. There's so much you can do, isn't there? Conkers. You can find a bug's palace. You can make Buckingham Palace. You can do so much in the woods. I'll see you there in a little while.
Right, I'm here at the entrance to the wood. Well, I say entrance. Here's my first decision. Do I take this path into the woods that goes along up there? Can you see it? Goes along into the woods there. Or do I take this much darker path that goes up into the trees and sort of disappears into the woods? You can't see anything. It's so deep and dark and dense in there. I think I'll take that one. The deeper, darker, denser wood path. I'll see you when I get in there. If I don't get in there and some wolf gets me, or witch, or wizard, or I don't know. It's been lovely to meet you, or not meet you as we said earlier, but I'm off into the woods. I'll see you when I'm in there. Hello, here I am again. Look at this beauty. This is a tree that's been taken down somehow. It's out of it's fallen down. Look at it. Looks like a monster. I'm in the middle of the forest. I left the path. I'm a bit lost, to be honest. And all there is, all around me, is trees. Everywhere you look, trees. I'm not sure how I'll get out of this, but I'm sure I'll find a way. Now, let's talk about stories. You see, lots of stories. They say there's 7. That's 5, 6, 7. They say there's 7 basic plots of stories. One is overcoming the monster. Now, you see that a lot in Grimm's fairy tales and all sorts, because you get, Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack has to overcome the monster, doesn't he, at the top of the beanstalk. Red Riding Hood has to overcome the wolf. Even Dracula, which is a horror story, has to overcome the monster. And even most superhero films, the superheroes got to beat the monster. So that's one type of story. And maybe this is our monster. What do you think? If it suddenly came to life now and spoke to me, I would run, right? I would run through these trees. I wouldn't even know where I'm going. I'd just run, right? There's overcoming the monster. Then, of course, there's comedy, stories that just give you a laugh. Like even Shakespeare did that. He did some comedies like Midsummer Night's Dream. Took place in the woods. You've got all sorts of stories that have all sorts of things that go on. You've got tragedy, sad stories. Like, you remember the snowman? I'm walking in the air. The snowman's a sad story, you see. So you've got comedy, you've got tragedy, you've got overcoming the monster. You've got the quest, like Lord of the Rings, where Frodo Baggins has to get the ring to Mordor to defeat Sauron. That's the quest. You've also got from here to there, like Alice in Wonderland. So you go on a journey, and on that journey you learn things. So I could be on this journey in the woods, I get lost, but I learn all sorts of things about myself and about the world around me. Look at all these trees. It's like being in a David Attenborough documentary, isn't it? You know David Attenborough, the one who does all those lovely nature documentaries? Here in the woods of Wales, we can find the very interesting tree stump. In that stump and in that puddle, lots of little things are living. There's also a bald man who's looking for a story. Yeah, that's David Attenborough, right? But I'm in the woods. Oh, we were talking about stories, weren't we? Overcoming the monster, comedy, tragedy. There's the quest of when you've got to find something. There's getting from here to there. There's being reborn, like Scrooge. You know the Christmas story, Scrooge, where he's reborn, where he starts off really mean, and at the end, he's born again, and he becomes lovely then. So there's Rebirth, that's a story, and the other one, I've forgotten what it is, but there's 7 basic plots of stories. It'll come to me in a minute, but I'm not myself because I'm in the woods and I'm not sure. Was that something moving over there? Behind me? Did you see it? There's something dark moving in the woods. There was definitely something dark that moved behind me. It's gone. There was something there. Was it a monster? What was it? Now, I've come into these woods for you because if you're going to write something, right? If you're going to write something, you've got to find some inspiration. So what would I write about if I was here? See, you can see why so many people, I was telling you earlier about horror stories, scary stories are set in woods. Even lots of the Grimm's tales where, you know, Hansel and Gretel, where they go into the woods and the witch is there. But you can see why they're scary, because when you're in the woods and you get lost, like I am, you don't know what's going to happen to you, do you? And it's very easy to write something that's scary. So, because you're alone, there's loneliness. And if you're alone, you've got nobody with you, and you're all alone in the woods, and if it got dark, yeah, there's scary, isn't there? Now, I'm still trying to think of that other story, by the way. I'm sort of like chogging away, trying to think. Now, the thing about stories is getting the plot, getting the story, so you get the tension, you get the scary bit, you get the jeopardy, you get the danger. And you also start, like, you know, everybody says stories start with once upon a time. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the beginning, isn't it? Once upon a time, there was a man, a bald man, who went into the woods, searching for the truth. And all he found was a tree monster named Bernard, who said, "What do you want in my woods?" Well, I've come seeking the truth, tree monster. So you could have that, couldn't you? Oh, yeah. Do you know, the only thing I've got to guard against things is I've got my trusty my homemade walking stick. You see that? But even that's broken, look. My homemade walking stick is broken. The bit came off the top, so that needs mending. Now, so where were we? Yeah. Hang on a minute. I'm just going to sort myself out. I'll be back in a minute. Can you see it? There is definitely something moving in there. There'll be things moving in there, won't there, as well? Little ants and stuff. Something is definitely moving. Oh, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I've definitely seen something moving, but I can't find it anywhere. It was dark, a dark shape. By the way, the other basic plot is rags to riches. You know, like Cinderella, starts off really poor, ends up as a princess. Rags to riches, Great Expectations, Charles Dickens got it as well. Anyway, forget that. I'm really worried about this dark thing in here. I'm wondering what it is. I think I'm going to try and find the way out of the woods. There it is again. Up there. Can you see it? Definitely something dark. I don't know. Look, I'm going to have to find my way out. Then we'll talk about doing some more writing, because I think I need to get home. I'll see you in a minute. I was right, you know. There was something moving, and I found it. I'll see if I can get it. Come on. Please. I think it is the missing link that I was talking about earlier. Please, come say hello. I'll try and see if I can get him. Here he is. It's a monkey, aren't you? Chimpanzee, I think, are you? You were living in these woods. You shouldn't be living here, should you? No. What are you doing living here? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. You can't actually talk, can you? No, he hasn't got opposable thumbs either. He's got a banana he's hanging on to. Where'd you get the banana from? Someone gave it from a picnic. Yeah. Are you the missing link? You don't know. He doesn't know. Oh, you're saying hello. Yeah, they're there. They're the people we're doing a story or a poem or something. We're going to write something. We came into the woods looking for inspiration and we found you. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, we're going to go. I'm going to go now. No, you can't come home with me. Whatever you're saying, no, you can't come home with me. I'm going to have to... Yeah, sorry, he's trying to eat the phone. Stop it. Don't do that. Well, I found a way out the woods. It hasn't really got me anywhere, because now there's just more trees and then mountains over there. I'm not quite sure what to do. I'm just going to have to try and find the way home. I'll see you there.
Hello. I made it back okay in the end, and here I am back home, all safe and sound. But it was an interesting journey in the woods. I hope you enjoyed it, and it can get you thinking about how to get writing. You can think about what you see. For me, I was thinking about being on my own. I was thinking about all those tall trees, and I was thinking about the carpet on the woodland was all soft and spongy. And then I was thinking about what can be in there. I was thinking about all those stories that have existed with the woods in, whether there's talking trees like that big base of the tree I saw, or whether it's like things lurking like the missing link, who wasn't quite so scary, was he? But actually, what I want you to do, what I'd like you to do at the end of today, is I'd like you to write something down. Write something down about Into the Woods. You've been to the woods before. We've all been in the woods. We've all had a picnic. We've all done all sorts. So I want you to write something that's called Into the Woods. And think about what the woods means to you. Let your imagination run wild with ideas of what you can see in the woods. Because you could see a sea of custard. You could see all sorts of... You could see a lost Wellington boot. You could see anything. So I want you to write something down that's called Into the Woods. And then the first line... Now, you can write a story, you can write a poem. We won't get into that now. We won't worry about that. But if I was writing something, I'd probably say, Into the Woods. Go on. Enter the woods. Ignite your imagination. A broken twig, a lost dream. Immerse yourself in conquers and solitude. Find out who you really are. Go on. Enter the woods. A world of witches and wolves, 3 wishes and a dark night, teeming with life and endless possibilities. Summon your courage to the sticking place. There are always missing links, but it's as good a place to start as any other. So go on, enter the woods. So I want you to write a piece that's called Into the Woods and start with, go on, enter the woods. Or if you want to write a story, write a story. But think about really interesting ways of describing things. Think about those feelings, those sounds, all those things that were around me when I was in the woods. If you ever go at writing something and then send it in to Arts Active, they'll tell you how to send it in, and you can get permission from your mum or dad or whoever you live with to send something in. And they'll send it on to Arts Active, will send it on to me then, and I'll have a look. I'd just love to have a look at what you're writing. Get yourself thinking of all sorts of ideas, stories and poems and ideas that'll get you going. Get something down and keep reading, because that is a great source. It's a great way of getting those ideas sparking in your head and then taking yourself out into the woods, and it all comes together. And don't worry about the missing link. I did bring him home with me. He's downstairs having a cup of tea and a biscuit. I'll see you later. It's been lovely to meet you. See you later. Bye-bye.